meet the participants. Just like that, we keep going, okay? Good. And
Can just ask a question because I don't know how to pronounce Annick surname.
okay.
Annick Haesaerts.
Haesaerts. Okay. Haesaerts. Okay.
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
It's a French name, but I didn't choose it by myself.
No, yeah. But I want to do it properly. So for me, it's always the same with so many different speakers that I cannot pronounce that well some names. So I will try it. Sorry in advance for my mispronunciation.
It doesn't matter. Even here in Belgium, there is nobody that can write it correctly from the first time or to pronounce it correctly from the first time. So I'm used to it.
So welcome to all the participants. We are going to start around at 10. So just rename yourself, start to get comfortable.
Alicia, my presentation will be a little bit longer than 10 minutes because you said it will 10 minutes is okay. It will be more than 10 minutes
Okay.
now because
there are some that they are shorter, some that they are longer. So let's try to make a balance. And depending on that as well, we will open the floor for questions. So Anna will see. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. We this. You can see this slide. So Okay, so it's 10. We are going to start because we have a tight agenda today. My name is Alicia Gavan, and I work for the European Association of Local and Regional Authorities in Lifelong Learning, the organization that is hosting today the webinar together with the LCAMP Alliance, one of the COBE projects, the Centers of Vocational Excellence Projects on Advanced Manufacturing, that we will be speaking along today. Also, I would like to thank the working group on skills and labor market of ERLAL that is also organizing this series of webinars in which we are analyzing different sectors. Today, we were going to talk about the advanced manufacturing sector, about AI, and all the challenges and opportunities that this represents for our European regions. But in the past, we have explored other sectors such as the blue economy, the care sector, and so on. So I invite you to go to our website, erlal.eu, and visit the different materials that we have for each sector in case you are interested on different industries and so on. And with further ado, I would like to introduce you first the agenda. As I was saying, our moderator for today is going to be Ana Cabedo, that she works for the Regional Ministry of Education and Vocational Education and Training in Catalonia, and she's our chair of the ERLAL Working Group on Skills and Labor Market. Then we will have a presentation on the work that Cedefop is doing, and they recently published a paper on AI and the EU skilling challenges. So thank you for being with us today. And then we will pass to a regional examples, to a panel where we will be discussing the different good practices that are across our regions, so across ERLAL network indeed, and also Lombardy region. So we will have time for questions, and I hope you will enjoy this session. And now I would like to pass the floor to Ana, who will be chairing this session. Thank you.
Thank you, Alicia. Well, good morning, everyone, and welcome to today's webinar about advanced manufacturing skills analysis, understanding skills challenges and opportunities in the advancing manufacturing industries across European regions. As Alicia has said, my name is Ana Cabedo. I'm very happy to be your moderator today for this session. This webinar is a part of the Skills and Labor Market working group led by the Regional Ministry of Education and Vocational Training from Catalonia. I want to thank you all for taking the time to join us today. And for starting this webinar, I want to first setting a little bit the context. As you know, the advanced manufacturing sector is at the core of Europe's economic and industrial strategies. It incorporates cutting-edge technologies such as automation, robotics, artificial intelligence, additive manufacturing, and the industrial Internet of Things, among other things. This sector plays a key role in driving innovation and economic growth, employing over 30 million people across Europe, with a significant proportion of these jobs requiring advanced digital and technical skills. However, this sector is facing some challenges like skill shortage in critical areas such as robotics, data analytics, and cybersecurity, difficulties in attracting and retaining talent, especially young professionals and women, the need for continuous upskilling and reskilling on digital and green transitions that we will cover with these covers that we'll present here for you today, and as well regional disparities in access to training and innovation. So addressing these challenges requires this strong collaboration between industry, education providers, policymakers, and regional authorities. So today's discussion will provide useful insights on how we can bridge skills and ensure a resilient and competitive workforce for the future. So I'd like to thank you, you all for being here today. I think that this continue all these series of webinars we've been conducting in the past year. And in this session, as well as Alicia has said before, we want to welcome the first speaker without delay. because I said before that I just was talking to like 5 minutes, but I'm taking a little bit. So without delay, let's move on to our first speaker. Ralph Hippe is expert in BED and skills at Cedefop. Ralph specializes in skills, AI digitalization, vocational training, labor markets. His current projects include Cedefop's AI Skill Foresight, the European Skills and Jobs Survey, and the European Training and Learning Survey. So before joining Cedefop in 2021, Ralph was worked at different companies across Europe, in UK, France, and Italy and Spain. He holds master's degrees in business administration and as well a postdoc in economics. Awarded with these both postdocs with thesis prizes. So Ralph, the floor is yours.
Thank you very much. I'm sharing now the screen. Can you see it?
Yeah, you need just to make it okay. Perfect.
Okay, great. Yeah, thank you very much, Anna, and it's a pleasure to be here. I work for Cedefop, as mentioned. So Cedefop is the EU agency for VET skills and qualifications. So we are a specialized agency by the European Union working on these kinds of topics. So that's why we have been also looking into AI, which is a big topic, but we also look on at digitalization, also greening, the twin transition, and many other topics. So today I would like you to present some of our work related to AI. So we have done a AI skills survey and a foresight study. And with this, we will see what are the challenges for skilling in the EU. The first study that I would like to indicate is our AI skills survey, which is a representative survey that we have run in around 5,000 workers in 11 EU countries, so not all 27. So just to be aware, these are just 11 countries that we did this in 2024. And it's called Skills Empower Workers in the AI Revolution, our policy brief, which just came out a few weeks ago. And what were we doing with the survey? We were measuring how much is AI used at work, what are the AI skill levels, are there any gaps, how much can jobs be automated, which is always a big question. Do workers get support from the companies, from the organization, how to use AI? And in the end, what are the outcomes of all of this AI usage? So first of all, in these 11 countries, we see that about 1 in 7 adults or adult workers use AI, which we define working with digital tools or apps that can automatically do some tasks using algorithms. So it's already rather frequent, but still 1 in 7 is still a minority. In addition, if we look at the 11 countries, we see that on the average, we have that 28% say yes, they or their colleagues use AI, whereas 55% still say no. There are big disparities because we see that in Luxembourg, the highest share, over 40%, say that they're using AI, whereas in Spain, it's less than 20%. So there's a big gap. And if we look at the right-hand side, we see also that there are important differences over time. So we asked a second question about, have you used AI more than the previous year? So comparing 2023 to 2024. And there we see also that particularly those countries which have the lowest usage of AI are also those that have least increased the use of AI. So Spain, Greece, Poland, we see in Portugal, we see them that both all these countries are, let's say, those countries losing it less, whereas we see overall we have around 37%, with Belgium and France particularly increasing the usage. So which shows us that there are tendencies to widening gaps across Europe in the last 1-2 years. Now, the question is obviously, is AI used to automate, or will it enhance jobs? Will it redesign jobs? Yeah, so augment the existing jobs. And we found that the job augmentation due to AI is highest in routine jobs, so which are very easily to be standardized, precarious working conditions, but also in rather middle-skilled jobs where machines are used. So it's not only, let's say, the low-skilled, as sometimes one would think. No, it's particularly also the middle-skilled jobs. And this obviously can create also fears of job loss. So with all this AI, will tomorrow the technology, the AI, do my work? And here we see there again a strong differences. In Greece, this fear, although as we have seen in Greece, not so AI still not so much used. Cedefop is based in Thessaloniki in Greece, so that's something that we care about as well. But so there's a high fear in Greece, whereas in Czechia and Ireland, it's much less common. So the big question is, what will in the future this be our new colleague? So will this colleague, the machine, do the job and not any more humans? And here we have to look at tasks. So how do tasks change in the workplace? And here we see that 30% of workers said that they do not do some tasks anymore. So now the AI has taken over. Whereas 67% say actually with AI they can do some tasks faster, so they have higher productivity. Yeah, it doesn't take them so much time. On the other hand, we also see that 41% say, okay, now that there's AI, I do some new stuff, some new tasks. But on the other hand, also there is this problem that 17% feel that they have less control over the job tasks. So there may be some more algorithms that control them. So this is also a negative aspect here. So with all these fears and also these disparities, we see that we have a big needs also for training. So 61% say that they need new knowledge and skills in order to deal with AI. However, only 44% say that it's unlikely their company or organization will provide training to workers to deal with AI. So we see that there's a need for training. 61% say they have a need, but 44% say probably my company or organization will not do this. So there's a clear gap here between the needs and what is offered. And if we look at this in a country perspective, we see that overall in the 11 countries that we considered, we have around 42% that say that there's a strong gap between what is offered and what they need. With highest in Portugal, 57%, and again, Greece, 51%, and lowest in Poland and Czechia. The AI training that is provided is let's say, less widespread. So we see differences between 13% in France and 18% in Luxembourg. But still, we see that these gaps are quite wide. So there needs to be done more in order to ensure that the workers have all the skills they need. And as we're talking today, particularly also about the advanced manufacturing sector, it may also be interesting that this is actually maybe not a surprise, but still that this is the sector where we have the highest share of AI programmers, also of non-AI programmers, so that have been using normal IT coding practices. But we see that the manufacturing sector is particularly advanced, and particularly using AI in this regard, and it is looking for these skilled programmers. So AI is definitely something very important for manufacturing in general, and advanced manufacturing most probably much more further. So what does this tell us about now the policies for skills? We see that the AI transition is after all also a skills transition, because our analysis show that the major driver of whether AI is used or whether AI is provided as training is the skills that are already there. So that's why it's very important to provide basic skills and then obviously if necessary advanced skills. Policies should also look at particularly those groups that are using AI less so far among the workers. And according to our results, these groups are older workers, female workers, and also workers that are in SMEs compared to larger companies who have more resources to use also AI. So this was our first study, which was a quantitative analysis of survey questionnaires. Our second analysis that we have is qualitative. So we are looking at the future. How will AI be used in the next 10 years in different sectors? And for this, we are collecting qualitative data by asking particular the most important stakeholders in the area. And we want to better understand what are the effects of AI adoptions and what skills are needed. At the moment, we started it last year and we will have some first results next year. And particularly interesting for today is that the first sector that we are considering is the automotive sector, evidently a very important sector in the EU, particularly in advanced manufacturing. And here, when we think about AI, obviously the big topics are autonomous driving. And obviously we have global competition. There are lots of news, obviously, with supply chains, tariffs. All of this is very much impacting this very internationalized sector. The second sector we're considering is geriatric nursing, as we have aging populations with demographic change and labor shortages. This is obviously an interesting sector as well, because it has always had a lot of human contact. But is it possible to fulfill these gaps with some humanoid robots in the future? Big question mark. And then obviously where a generative AI like ChatGPT, etc., have had a big impact from the very start are also the creative industries. So, and the question is here, how can the AI be used here, but still also there's a balance between just digitalization or using AI with the traditional creative mindset, and how can we further enhance human creativity? And the first results that we see from the automotive sector that we have got, as I said, we will finalize the study next year, is that we see that in this sector, AI is used to complement human labor. So it's not just about automating, but really about complementing, but particularly also because as it's still hallucinating, as we say, it makes mistakes, it still needs oversight. But there has been in Europe a rather slow AI adoption, which hinders its use compared to the other big players like the United States and China. And we have also to be careful to consider the balance between the regulations that we have in Europe and the innovation. When it comes then also to for education, we see that there's just not enough training for AI, as we already saw in our other study. So there needs to be a more public-private approach, so that both the public sector with the education system, but also the private sector with the private skilling need to work better together. But also it was mentioned that AI is not everything in this industry. So particular cost is a major, let's say, competitive advantage for a car. If you have a car for half a price, people are more willing to buy it. And obviously everything that's now going on geopolitically has also very strong implications on the supply chains, etc. So this study will finalize in 2026, and then I hope that I can present you also some further interesting insights on this and the other sectors. This is obviously group work, and if you have any further questions, don't hesitate to contact us. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Ralph, for your insightful presentation on in artificial intelligence, focusing on the skills required, changes and opportunities AI brings to advanced manufacturing, and as well vocational education and this future incorporations in applications in other sectors. So I think that now it's the turn for a little bit of question and answers. If any one of the participants in the webinar want to ask something to Ralph, it's the correct time to do it.
I have just a question regarding the research presented. So some countries of our cover, I'm talking on behalf of the exit cover, let's say, are not represented in the survey yet. My question is if, and the next steps, for example, next rounds are foreseen in order to include also Italy, for example, where I located the moment, or let's say other countries beside the EU average group, of course. Thank you very much.
Yes, a very good question. So usually we have also done other surveys like the European Skills and Job Survey. Another survey that we did last year, which has data also for all EU 27 countries. This was a more, let's say, spontaneous opportunity for us to do the survey. So that's why we focus it on a very interesting topic on AI, but the resources were not there to do it in a quick time in all countries. So that's why it was just limited to these 11 countries. However, also this year we're working on the next wave of this European Skills and Job Survey, the third wave. And there we will have again all EU 27 countries. And then obviously I will be happy to present you also the results for all countries. We will not have all the questions from the AI survey because the survey has some more topics, but in general, this will be an interesting survey. But we have also some results on AI also from the ESGS2, so the European Skills and Job Survey second wave. That you can check out. We have also a publication on this, or maybe we can share it later on. But thank you very much.
Thank you.
We have other question in the chat. Eduarda Castelo Blancos is asking for if the study will cover in the future maybe other AI sectors, like for instance the construction sector. So I don't know if you are in this, Ralph.
In this specific case, the AI foresight study is only done in these 3 specific sectors, which try to cover different aspects. As I said, one which is more towards generative AI, the automotive as one which is very about advanced AI. So we had to choose 3 different sectors. Let's say this is not the last study that we will do on AI. You can be sure, as I was just mentioning, that will be more sectors, more studies in the future, and also other projects. And so I think Cedefop will provide certainly also more information on AI in construction. So just not in this study, but yeah, just if you check out our website, we have been doing a lot of work also in other sectors.
Unai, he has raised his hand, so please.
Yes, I have a question for Ralph. Thank you for your presentation, very interesting presentation. You have stated that AI is changing jobs, and that training for AI will be needed for those jobs. My question is, if the training will be needed on AI or on reskilling people for the new jobs or for the changes jobs? I mean, the topic is AI or the topic is reskilling for the transformed jobs? Thank you.
Yes, no, let's say it will be both. So obviously in some jobs, like probably most jobs will see some changes in their jobs, even if, let's say, a specific worker will not directly use AI, but AI may then be used, I don't know, by the management or, you know, in other instances. So the tasks will change. And so the training needs to adapt to this just changing tasks. But at the same time, particularly where AI is used or where AI has potential, there needs to be also training specifically on how to use AI, etc. So it always depends on the sector, but obviously you need the general upskilling and reskilling, yeah, in order that you keep up to date in what is going on in your job and in the market. But at the same time, particularly AI skills, as I have presented, is something that is still lacking in many cases, and there needs to be a big push.
Thank you, Ralph. We have one more question. I think we can give you the floor, Elisabetta Bratti.
So thank you for the presentation. It was quite interesting for us, so thank you very much. My question is about not only the workers, but most of all entrepreneurs and the higher levels in the companies. So we are speaking about how to use AI, and sometimes it seems that we are speaking about the person that is doing the job. But in order to insert AI in a company, we need a great vision and a great knowledge of the processes. So I would like to know if you made any research and any work on this topic. So not only how to skill people, but how to skill the decision makers in private companies, because sometimes they insert AI not in the proper way. And so people are so confused. And in a certain sense, this type of confusion, in my personal point of view, can affect also the data that you showed when you say that people are scared or they don't know how to behave. And thank you for your point of view on this topic.
Yes, a very good question. And that's something that we could not specifically integrate in our survey because it's just about workers. But we have been discussing also several times also of if we can integrate managers, because it's a key group, obviously, because they're the ones who take the decisions. And also we had end of last year in December a conference on our European Skills and Jobs survey, and our keynote speaker was also raising this issue. So the management needs to have the right skills and the right vision for AI. So in many cases in companies, AI is introduced more like bottom up. So with some workers who are, you know, the ones who are very interested in this, who are trying out, playing around, and then this bottom up diffusion, which is fine. But you need also the vision from the top that this is facilitated and that the right environment is created, and the opportunities, as we were saying, that the opportunities are given, because if there's no AI training possibility in the company, because the management doesn't consider it important or just doesn't know about it, then this is an issue. So while I cannot now provide you specific research insights from our survey, this is definitely something very important, and the management lacks, because all of this AI is something very recent, and also the managers were not trained at the beginning in AI or something like this. So also they would need further upskilling in order to understand how to face this. So let's say the up and reskilling is not only for the workers, but also for the managers.
Yes, thank you very much. And in this case, if you want to go deeper on this topic, so on Italian side, we would be quite happy to participate because it's a huge problem currently.
fully agree. Yes.
Okay, so I think it's time to move in. Thank you, Alicia. It's time to move on the second session with the regional examples advancing the advanced manufacturing sector and engine for innovation. Today we have the privilege of hosting 4 speakers from 4 different regions across Europe: Basque Country, Catalonia, Flanders, and Lombardia. Each of them bringing unique insights to the skills landscape on advancing manufacturing. So our next speaker is Íñigo Araztegui, Director of Internationalization of Technica, a leading center for vocational education and training under the Basque government. He has extensive experience in teacher mobility and innovation projects in European programs, and he's here together with LCAMP, the learner-centric advanced manufacturing platform that is an European initiative that fosters knowledge exchange and collaboration between VET centers and industry. It aims to align training with the evolving needs of the advanced manufacturing sector. So you have here the website. So for you to look for more details if of your interest. So Íñigo, welcome. We look forward to your insights. Thank you.
Thank you, Anna, and good morning, everyone. So I will try to share my presentation. Okay, so I'll be talking about LCAMP from a regional perspective, in our case, from our region's perspective in the Basque Country. So, yeah, the aim of the project was from the very beginning to support regional COPs. And the idea of the project was to create some centralized structures, services, however you want to call them, that can help different regions to help themselves in having a good vocational education and training for advanced manufacturing. That was the idea of the project, and we've been working on that with a consortium of around 20 partners from 10 different countries from Europe and out of Europe as well. And in a very summarized way, what we are doing is we are creating a network of VET centers that can be useful for different schools to connect and discuss and, I don't know, work on mobility projects, KA2 projects, or whatever they want to discuss. This is the Work Package 2 Alliance, and it's open for everyone and free. So if someone is interested in joining, we are holding annual conferences. The next one is in May in Sweden, and the last one will be next year somewhere in the Basque Country. So feel free to contact us through the webpage if you think it is interesting for your schools to join this network. It's everything related to advanced manufacturing, just to clarify. Then in Work Package 3, we are working on an observatory where we are trying to identify different technology and skills and trends in general, how some jobs with high employment in relation to the training degrees we have in the VET schools are changing, and trying to involve teachers in these activities so that they can be aware of the changes. Then in Work Packages 4 and 7, we are working with a framework which was developed in 2 different EU-funded projects, the last one being a Horizon Europe project, where they created a framework to do assessments in SMEs in relation to advanced manufacturing and to offer them some support services to help them innovate. So we are working in collaborative projects with VET centers and SMEs under this ADMA framework. And then in Work Package 6, we are developing or adapting the idea of the learning factory to VET environments, and basically creating some roadmaps and some tools that can help VET schools in implementing new technologies. especially the ones related to 4.0, 5.0, advanced manufacturing, and so on. And then in Work Package 5, we are trying to create a structure where you can, through a digital platform, identify your skill needs and what will be needed for a certain job, and if possible, relate or give you some recommendations on training courses available in your surroundings. But as I said, the idea of this code was from the very beginning that we worked at an international level just to share some knowledge and so on. But then we support the codes at the regional level, because we are aware that the main strength of VET is or manifests itself at local level, because we work with the students from the area, and we train the workers of the area, and we train the companies of the area and so on. But at the same time, we were realizing that the challenges that we are facing here and the challenges that are being faced in other regions are quite similar. So it made sense to have a, let's say, a European way of connecting at international level, but always thinking about working at local level at the end. So our idea was to support different regions, and we decided to present this project on advanced manufacturing as a code with this idea of supporting regions. And we went for advanced manufacturing for different reasons, but one was that from our regional point of view in the Basque Country, it's an important sector. It has a big share of the GDP. It's included in the smart specialization strategy of the region. It's an essential field for when it comes to technological innovation. It's a source of good quality employment for a lot of people, and it's facing a lot of shortages and problems related to retirement, migration, etc., new skill needs, technology changes, and so on. And it's also a field in which the green, digital and green transition will possibly have a big impact. It's already having an impact, and then it's a technologically quite advanced field, and it is important for vet centers to be aware of what's happening so that they can adapt their training and their services to the changing demands of the market. So for these reasons, we thought that advanced manufacturing was a sector, or, well, it's not a sector, but it was a field in which we wanted to focus. And we realized that this situation was quite similar in other regions of Europe as well. It had a big share of the GDP. They had problems with skilling people. It was a source of innovation and so on. So we decided to set up this code, and yeah, because we realized that these challenges, although they are being faced at regional level and we want to give them an answer at regional level, we also realized that in the end, knowledge and technology are to a big extent, not completely, but to a big extent, universal things. So that a knowledge generated here or a solution generated in, I don't know, Italy can be shared and can be useful for a different region. So the idea was that although we want to work at regional level and solve our challenges, we can support each other with EU-wide international cooperation. And that being said, I will now move to the impact of this code in the case of the Basque Country in our specific region. So the first thing...
okay, fine. No, like the slides weren't... Okay, fine.
Yeah, I'm not very good with the slides and so thank you. So the first thing I wanted to mention is that we managed to have it included in the last regional vet plan, and I'm quite confident we will have it included in the next one as well. So our regional plan explicitly mentions LCAMP, and there are work lines related to creating platforms in advanced manufacturing and so on. That's what we are doing in the project. So that's important, because somehow we managed to make the ideas of the project a priority for the region. So that's part of the impact. The second one is related to the alliance. I don't know the exact number right now, but it's 20 something, I think, if I'm not wrong, Alicia, vet schools from the Basque Country that joined the Alliance, which is the network I mentioned at the beginning. And you can see their pictures of the conference last year. You can see them visiting Bosch or Festo, or discussing different things in round tables in Germany last year. So it's a quite useful forum for them that I invite all of you to join if you are interested. Then there are some pictures here of the work we are doing with the observatory as well, where we've been asking companies and teachers and involving teachers in going or visiting companies to ask them questions on different topics related to specific jobs where we see high employment, and just trying to find out what's happening with the twin transition and how the training provisions should be adapted if they have to be adapted and so on. Then I don't have pictures of that, but we are working on several projects with SMEs. I don't have the exact number right now, but this is working quite well. And as I said, we are working with this ADMA framework. You can, I think, find it quite easily on the internet. It was created in two different, first in a EU-funded project, which then had a kind of scale-up or continuation in a Horizon project, and we are using this framework, and it's working quite well. There are quite a few projects between companies and SMEs, and then between SMEs and vet centers, and then the Basque government gave a teaching time reduction in 22, I think it's 22 vet schools in the Basque Country, so that teachers had time to work on setting up their learning factories. And we are, from Technica, we are facilitating this group so that we are assisting them to set up their learning factories, and we are using the materials of the project, the self-assessment tool and the different strategies and roadmap we created for technology integration in vet centers. And that's all I can mention from the regional impact point of view. I'm open to anyone's questions, and thank you very much for your attention.
Thank you, Íñigo, for sharing the LCAMP project. And I think that, as you'll see later, it has many common points with the other COVE we are presenting right now by Escola del Treball, because both focuses on vet centers and the relation with companies, the industry, and innovation, well, the twin transition, as you have said. So, yeah. But now it's the time for some questions, if there is any. Well, if someone has a question, can use the chat, and at the end of the webinar, we can review the chat, and yeah, there is one question in the chat right now. Okay, so Adriana Roldan is asking, she would like to know if the experience of the Basque Country, you have identify some issues finding vet teachers specialized in AI.
No. So if you review the last regional report that we did with the observatory, interviewing, I think they were 17 companies in which most of our, or a lot of our students related to advanced manufacturing are employed. AI didn't come very high in the agenda either. So we are not. We do have regional projects with AI, and we launch trainings on AI. If you visit the webpage of Technica, you will find them. They are directed to teachers that they can upskill themselves in this topic, but it didn't come very high on the agenda. So the approach we followed in the observation was that we tried to think that jobs change. So not that they are created or destroyed, which does happen as well, but we said, okay, we know that there's still employment in these specific occupations, and then we tried to identify if there were new tasks being included and some tasks that were somehow outdated within those jobs, and then try to relate them to skills. And what we found out was that for companies, it's very important that students have the basis of their occupation. And we found that because otherwise it's very difficult to upskill or reskill those workers afterwards. The basic skills are very, very important. Then we realized as well that specialization is very highly valued, but only if you have a strong basis. So we shouldn't go crazy and start training people on AI if they don't have the basic skills, because it won't work. We found out that transversal skills are important, but again, no one hires a good communicator in, I mean, talking about the BET level and the type of jobs we are talking about, they value it, but only if you know your job, otherwise they don't work. And then some skills that, or some competencies or some things that were mentioned was that it was very important for them that the workers had an understanding of the entire process in the company, so that they could understand what happens in the entire production process after they finish their job and so on. And then the idea of inter, or I don't know how to call it, or the idea that you can understand and to some extent perform someone else's job in the same factory. And those were the main things we identified. And there are a lot of shortages and a lot of concern of retirements and so on. But yeah, that's what we found out. Of course, our data is far from perfect, but
yeah, but what about teachers? Because I think that the question is kind of related with that. In fact, I mean, how about teachers? If these teachers are not specialized in AI, how they can you know, so share that learning with the students? Because always we know that companies do some kind of training for workers, and you know, with the basic skills, it's so always easy to upskill or reskill that worker. But at the vet schools, at the vet centers, how are the teachers? They are prepared for all these kind of new technologies.
Yeah. So as I said, one thing we see is that there's, I mean, within the sector we are analyzing, and at vet level, we don't even see job positions for data management or deep learning or these kind of things. It comes for university level graduates and at higher positions in the company, but we don't find them for VET students. What we see is that there are a lot of AI technologies integrated, and AI used as well in a very vague sense. I mean, some people identify AI with ChatGPT or similar applications. Other people are thinking about artificial vision and so on. And then one thing that shouldn't confuse us is that a new technology doesn't necessarily need very complex skills. I mean, my phone has AI and is very easy to use. I don't need a training for that. I have electricity everywhere, and I don't know how to set up a wire, but I know how to push the button and make it work. My car has artificial intelligence, and I only need to know how to drive. The rest is set up already. So it's important. And the idea for us to work with learning factories in VET centers was that students could be used to work in highly digitalized environments, but they don't always necessarily mean that you need a new skill. But this is our data. It's far from perfect. It's very limited. It doesn't represent a huge, let's say, sample or anything. So it's just some findings, not.
Yeah, but it's a good practice that, as you mentioned before, goes from local to European level, because what happens normally is that other European regions has the same issues, and well, in fact, that's what we bring us today here to share and to compare what is happening in different European regions. So thank you so much, Íñigo. Alicia, if there is no more questions, I think that we could.
Yeah, we have to move on though.
Yeah.
Because we have still 3 more presentations. So yeah.
Yeah. So now it's the turn of the Albert Peiró, Head of Studies at Escola del Treball de Barcelona. I don't know if it's Albert alone or it's with Rubén and Roger. I'm not sure. They are here on behalf of Exit. It's another Erasmus Plus COVID with international partnerships between vet institutions, professional education centers, and other kind of organizations. So the aim of the project is to promote innovation and sustainability in advanced manufacturing while ensuring the vocational education aligns with future workforce needs. So as we've seen before with LCAMP, we have here as well the web page of Exit project that Alicia could share as well in the chat for you to go to visit, and if it's of your interest as well. So I think it's Albert's turn. So welcome, Albert, and I'm here if you need some help. Don't worry, because in this Exit project, the Regional Ministry of Catalonia, it's as well a partner of the Exit. So I've collaborating with Escola del Treball, and we have here some members as well of the Exit COVE participating in the webinar. So feel free to join if you need it. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, and thank you for having me here. Thank you, Anna, for your presentation. I'm lucky me to have you here, and Elena, I had the voice of Elena, so Elena is also the main coordinator of the project. Let me share my screen. And could you please confirm that's okay? Are you watching what I'm saying?
Yes,
okay.
yes.
It's okay, Albert. It's okay.
So,
yeah.
Thank you. And to Íñigo, it was very interesting because I think his scope is very, our scope is very complementary, or both are complementary. We are also working on advanced manufacturing and developing, I think, complementary things. So it's interesting to meet here and to know each other and try to create new future collaboration. I know that we are also collaborating. Elena is in contact, and Anna also with LCAMP COVID. For me, particularly, is my first contact with LCAMP. So thank you for having me here and for giving me this opportunity. You said before a COVE. Let me explain a little bit in the small words. What is a COVE? For me, it's a COVE. It's a kind of an ecosystem, no, made up of 3 parts: companies or association of companies, regional government, in our case, the Catalonia government, or the regional government, and vocational centers. Let me explain. I will start a brief introduction of the advanced manufacturing industries in Catalonia when this COVE bus was designed. that this is a picture of the situation of advanced manufacturing field in Catalonia just before the EXIT project was designed. And we can see that it was an emerging sector made up of basically for short companies, and half of this in Barcelona area, and exporting all over the world. That was the picture that we had in 1989, and just before the COVID was designed. So we were having this picture of the advanced manufacturing sector in Catalonia. In this slide, we can see that cybersecurity, Internet of Things, and big data were the main services offered for these companies, and that robotics and additive manufacturing were not the main. They were. It was a growing sector. Okay. At our vocational center, we are offering studies related to robotics and additive manufacturing. Escola del Treball de Barcelona is, I think, one of the big vocational schools in Spain. And the manufacturing, mechanical manufacturing and advanced manufacturing is one of the main fields that we are developing at Escola del Treball. So this was one of the main reasons why we decided to participate in this COVE initiative. Vocational education, we think that must play a crucial role in preparing the workforce of the future and shaping skills profiles. We took this COVE as a challenge and also as an opportunity in order to collaborate in offering new competences to the society. That was what saying in his about the gap between what companies or society is demanding and what in vocational centers we are offering. So we are trying to fill this gap, collaborating with this COVE initiative as they are doing at LCAMP. Let me show you the EXIT principles we are following in our activities that we are developing. Principles are eco-digital innovation, transition to digital economy in advanced manufacturing, gender focus and gender attractiveness. After I will explain a practical example of what we are developing at the EXIT. Integration of digital technologies and intelligence-based pedagogy, internationalization of vocational curricula, vocational education and training curricula, work-based learning, and strong business education partnerships, local approach to curricula, mixing local and global activities to customize according to the different regional ecosystems, and T-shaped approach, transversal and hard skills for each future-proof. Members of this EXIT COVE are from 5 different countries, and 2 representatives from Italy, 1 from Spain, here Barcelona, Catalonia, Finland, Czech Republic, and Greece. We are a total of 18 full partners and 21 associate partners. Here you have the picture of the full partners, and we are committed to offer these main 4 outputs: set up in advanced as LCAMP is doing, curricula update, creation of talent factory in advanced manufacturing, international mobility. The output number 1, the International Joint Observatory, is based on a strong business education partnership involving universities, research centers, and companies. Adopting a thematic approach to skills foresight with the aim of providing crucial findings for designing innovative vocational curricula and supporting co-designed cross-regional development strategies for a joint skills ecosystem. The output number 2, curricula innovation and development. We are updating and also creating new curricula, vocational curricula, designing and developing and testing also a set of 16 curricula, 12 existing ones, which are updated, 4 new curricula that we are developing in these days. The focus is on higher vocational curricula, European Qualification Framework number 4 and number 5. And also we are committed to long life learning, designing and testing a long life learning upskilling and reskilling offer for adults and low-skilled workers. This is the output number 2. And here you have an example of what we are doing using the Teams platform, comparing several curricula from different countries and creating collaborative teams. This existing curricula, comparing different countries' curricula, listening to the observatory, and listening and trying to improve our existing curricula, and piloting and giving them also a mobility opportunity for the students from the different countries. We are also creating new curricula based also on artificial intelligence and what we were discussing before. So if you are interested in knowing or in collaborating on discovering what we are doing, we are open to, of course, to make this collaboration possible. Yeah. The output number 3 is the construction of a talent factory. See? Design, development, and implementation of, for talent attraction and retention, and establishment and piloting of an international talent factory supporting the eco-digital transition in advanced manufacturing. And number 4, a sustain of international mobility. Not only mobility for vocational, for higher vocational students, but also for low-skilled adults and vocational teachers and staff. Yes, for instance, it's going to work. This, I don't know if I'm sharing. Can you see what I'm sharing? A picture of. Check if I can share this picture. Okay. Share. So aquí sí. Here. Here, this is the last vocational education tribunals that we met in Oulu, Finland. It was last month to work together and to upskill our curriculum. Okay. Share. Going back to my original here. Okay, back to the main slide. Okay. So as I said, mobility is this project. Like to explain a as Exceed is focused. One of the principles is gender focus. We are we are developing a project trying to make advanced manufacturing sector more attractive to female talent. We are developing a project, and we are sharing this project with all the partners in the Exceed COVE in order to improve this project. Okay. Here at initiative, and we think that this initiative was created at the Escola del Treball 2 years ago, at the same time that this Exceed COVE was starting, and we think that Exceed will be also a platform to export this initiative in other countries. These other partners to make the advanced manufacturing sector more attractive to female talent, and also this project called EDT Women Days. EDT stands for Escola del Treball, EDT, and Women Days. Project will be improved by being shared and discussed with other partners. Okay, let me explain what we are doing here. So this project is based on, we are going to the primary and secondary schools, and we are only to girls what this traditional male studies can also be, why this traditional male studies can also be done by girls and not only by men. So we have a team that is going to these primary and secondary schools, and we have a meeting exclusively with these girls from 10 to 12 years old, sometimes 12 to 13 years old, and we are going there with some female students that we have here at the Escola del Treball, in order that this female, for instance, being a welder or an electrician or a bootmaker, have chosen this career, and what difficulties they have found in their path. And we think that having these young students, vocational female students, as role models will motivate these young 10 to 13 years old to choose maybe one of these studies for being her future careers. So once we have this meeting with these young girls from the primary and secondary schools, we invite these girls to participate in a workshop in our vocational school, a practical workshop to produce a product. For instance, last week we had here a workshop based on woodwork, and we had here young girls that they were creating a small piece of wood, supervised by our teachers and also for our female students here. It was there were no security problems. It was something easy, and this way these younger girls came to our families, father, both if possible, because we think that it's at this age, parents and families, I think they have a very important role in order to decide the future of the children. So they have to be also involved in these activities, and they are discovering what is a vocational center and what we are doing center, and discovering that it's not only a world for men but also for girls. Okay, and here these activities, we call these activities. Okay, and I don't know if it will be possible to show you a small video of what we are doing.
Albert,
yes.
Sorry to interrupt you, but we are running out of time because we have 2 more speakers, and it's in fact we are like just 20 minutes ago for.
No problem, Anna. So
Alicia has shared the link of your webpage and in the chat for everyone to.
Okay, so no problem, Anna. So
sorry.
If you need more information, don't hesitate to contact us. Okay, so thank you very much, and it was a pleasure.
Okay, thank you so much, Albert. And we are, as I said, running out of time. So there is no time for questions and answers right now. If some of you have a query or something you would like to ask to Albert, please write down the question in the chat. So we'll later on follow to the persons and share with you after all. Okay, thank you. So we are pleased to introduce Annick Haesaerts, policy officer at Go Education of the Flemish community. Annick brings valuable expertise in education policy and vocational training, and contributing to regional strategies that enhance skills development in advanced manufacturing. So, Annick, welcome. We look forward to hearing from you. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, Anna. I will try to go a little bit quicker through my presentation. So, as you said, I'm working for the headquarters of the Geo Education Network of the Flemish community, and one side I do policy preparation, and the other side I'm building partnerships and projects and bringing in innovation in the labor market experience in our schools and training programs. So I would first, before starting, I would give. I'm sorry. Yeah. Now I want to go too quick. So I would give a brief overview of the Belgian labor markets in a nutshell, the challenges, the difficulties, and how we try to respond to the many challenges that we have. In my examples of projects where we bring innovation in training programs at the class, at the school, and so on, I will focus on the secondary education. That means youngsters between 15 and 19 years old. Before, yes, you may go to the next one. Before starting, I will still quickly remember that we are a federal state. That means that when I'm talking about industry sectors and so on, we have the Flanders we live. There's the part in the north. Then we have Wallonia in the south, and then we have the Brussels capital region. But when I'm talking about education, then we have another division. We have the Flemish community that correspond to Flanders. We have the French community that correspond to Brussels and Wallonia, and then we have the German-speaking community. That's the lila part on the map there, and that's important because that's determining for the language in which we are doing our training programs in the schools. So when I pass to the next slide, a general description of our labor market, then I had to say we are in the heart of Europe, also the heart of the European trade market. and we are an important player in international trade. When we are going to see to the industry, we have a lot of industry in the Flanders. We have less industry in Catalonia and in Brussels. There we have, I'm saying all the headquarters of the biggest companies. We have administration. We have the European institutions, and we have a lot of services. Companies that are located there, but no big companies. As you see, we have 11.8 million inhabitants, and it's not on the same impact in Flanders. Most of all are in Flanders, and there are less in Wallonia, and then in Brussels we have a big concentration of people. So that has an impact on our labor markets as well, and on the activities. So it's important for us that we maintain our economic growth, because all the prosperity depends on this, and their education, it's at the basis of our prosperity. And so we need well-skilled profiles, because otherwise we have no good inflow into our labor markets. When we are focusing on our main industries in Belgium, I can say that the big four are the ones that you see there. We have the pharmaceutical industry, the food and drink industry, the chemical industry, and the manufacture of primary metals and metal production. To the next slide, please. When we are talking about the manufacturing industry in Belgium, I can say that this sector, this industry, counts about 87 billion euros of added value, and it represents almost 16% of our gross domestic product. And when we have a look at the companies, we can say that we have about 773 jobs that is created by the companies in manufacturing industry, and that means about 11% of our total working population. So it's an important sector. And those jobs, they are mainly created in electronics, plastics, synthetic material processing, mechanical engineering, metal products, textiles. But when I'm talking about textiles, it's not only the textile for clothes, but because they're produced in North of Africa and Asia, but it's also the production of synthetic turf, car interiors, and so on. And then important as well is the transport equipment. On the next slide, yes, we see what are the problems, or the major problems that we have in our labor market. Is on the one side, we see we have a growth in job creating due to innovation, digitalization, and so on. But we can't fill in those jobs. And while we can't fill in all those jobs, our economy is stagnating. We see that 26% of our population is inactive. We have a little bit unemployment, but we have a lot of people who are long-term sick, but we have also populations who are not in working and who are not looking for work, and that is a problem when we can't fill in our jobs. We see the demographic impact of the retirement of the baby boomer generation. The working population is aging in many sectors, and there is more outflow of people who go to retirement, that there are youngsters who are ready to fill in the jobs. And we have also a big increase in care needs in the health sector. We have innovation, but on the other hand, you have the innovation, but you need people to work with machines and robots and so on. We have also a labor market mismatch. Companies cannot find the right profiles to fill in the jobs. because on one side we have the young people who do not choose enough for training programs in science, technology, engineering, and mathematics, and that we need to grow in innovation and so on. And the other side, we have parents and the young people who are not longer choosing for technical and vocational courses because there is a perception that everybody wants to put his child first in general education and to prepare them for higher school programs and for universities. So we have a problem in finding good technicians and so on. And then we have a rapid technological transformation and digital revolution. And when we see to the figures of the Professional Federation Agoria, they estimate that by 2030, about 4.5 million workers will need to upgrade their skills, because otherwise and especially their digital skills, because otherwise they risk to find no longer a job in the labor market. So what are our big challenges? The new government now will focus on activating on a long-term activating people they are long-term unemployed, and those groups, and they will increase also the labor force participation with those groups who are not working and not looking for work. So this will require lifelong learning programs, and we need to get those people to those programs. Another challenge is finding and retaining qualified people, especially in the high-tech sector. We need to form students and employees with the skills of the future. We need to attract young people to engineering and technology professions, and especially, as mentioned by the speaker before me, to attract women in those training programs. And then we have another challenge is the groups of that comes here by migrations. They also need special skills training, and we need to put them as quick as possible on our labor market. So what are we doing? We are working, in the next slide, we are working, of our government is working on projects to revalue technical and vocational education. Companies, they start their own, or they build their own academies and training programs, and we are putting in partnerships with schools and universities. Because they want to ensure a continuous flow of qualified workers. We have also regional technology centers in every province here in Flanders, where they have platforms where companies can announce their offers for cooperation with education to support teachers and so on. They ensure that infrastructure and innovation in companies finds its way in education programs, and they support the technical and vocational education and so on. And on the other side, we have also made some changes in our education system by the modernization. Our programs now are made on the basis of professional qualification. We have professional qualifications, they are written by the sectors, and then the educational guidance services create a curricula based on those professional qualifications. You can put the next, I will explain very quickly that we, by this modernization, we had another way to present the youngsters. This is for an example for the 17, 18, 19 years old, the program. We will not put them in the types of education to say you are smart enough, you can go to general education, and you are not that smart. We will put you in a program for vocational education, because that was one in mind of the parents. We had a new system and we create domains. And here I give you the example of the STEM domain. We have there on the left side, we have the cross-domain programs like economics, mathematics, science, mathematics, and so on. We have domain-specific programs. It's the technological sciences, engineering, mechatronics. It's only a few examples you see. It's just to give you a picture. And those two groups, they prepare on a finality that we call flow to higher education, mean universities or higher education school bachelor programs and so on. And then in the middle, we have the double finality. There we have other programs that are based on general programs, but also technical, theoretical subjects like automotive techniques, building techniques, industrial ICT, and so on. And the youngsters of the students that follow those programs, they have to choose after their studies to go or higher education university or go to the labor market. And then when we are on the right side of here the matrix, you see the labor market finality. Those youngsters, we prepare them immediately to get a step into the labor market, and then you find more practical programs like bicycle installation, truck driver, building construction site machinist, building construction, and so on. So we don't put them, we put them in one big group, and then we see what matches, which program matches the best with the skills of the student, with the interests of the student, and so on. And so we hope that they will make a positive choice in, and also the parents will go in a positive choice for their children, to have them on the right place on the labor market. And then, of course, all those programs that you see there, you can follow them or in the regular form or in the dual learning. In the dual learning system, they go 2 days a week to school in a training program, and 3 days a week they will follow or they will learn on in the companies by themselves. So I want to, yeah, it was very quickly, but if there are questions afterwards, I'm prepared to explain more. Now I will go deeper in a few examples that we have and what we do to have those innovation, new materials, and so on from the labor market, how we can bring this into our schools by our students and into our training programs. And first of all, I want to explain by photos, because my videos, they are in Dutch and they are not subtitled, and I had not enough time to do it. So I will explain everything by photos. It's a collaboration with the Edicos Workforce Academy 4.0. And it's working for the training programs in logistic training. And here it's an example how we support teachers in teaching forklift or reach truck driving skills, and we rely therefore on a virtual reality program, and it's an alternation between the VR world and the physical training, with VR building up and being used in small parts, and then integrated it in the whole program. And we use also techniques from the gaming industry to teach our students in getting the right skills on the work floor. And we see by using those techniques, the students, they learn faster, they are highly motivated to learn, and they perform the actions more accurately. And the program also generates a lot of data while they are doing this in the virtual world. We generate a lot of data, and that allows us to do adjustments into the students' behavior and the students' actions on the work floor. And then students practice first in a very safe context. They start training in VR, in a safety environment, and related to forklift driving. Because first they are very nervous and unsure, but through the use of VR, we can make that students perform by doing different exercises without risk to infrastructure or people. And this approach makes students learn without even realizing that they are learning. Then we move into a hybrid system where the students receive a VR training, and then on the same time they are practical training on a real forklift. And then the mistakes that they make in practice, in real practice, they will be corrected afterwards in the VR system. And so the self-confidence of the students increase a lot. And we see that those students have a step ahead when we compare the ones who are educated in a traditional training program, because the students that work with this or are trained with this program, they are already facing challenges that the other don't have in their program. And the EDICO is also using these methods for upskilling and reskilling employees in companies, and we have very good results with them. A second example is that we organize with Connective with the project of Diagnosecar. And all the schools in Flanders that are organizing training in secondary and higher education are in this program. And here as well, we are constantly adapting the programs to the innovations in the sector. And in the Diagnosecar project, students learn working on cars with, as you can see on the pictures, with fault simulations that are built in, and the cars, they go from school to school, and allowing all the schools in Flanders to learn on those cars with high-tech equipment. And then we have that you see on the right picture, we have the Evner application. It's an application that shows the interior of electric cars for learning, and the aim is to providing a didactic, safe and budget-friendly solution for lessons on alternative motor propulsion in electric and hydrogen cars. And students, again, they learn very safely to work on those cars and to de-energize a car, or they learn about the technology or alternative motor propulsion technologies. And in the next slide, you can see that we use it, or the students use it also on their mobile phone. We saw at the previous one, we saw also a charging infrastructure. Students in an electricity program, they learn about smart grids, and they can learn how to manage and to set up a home installation, but they also learn how a car acts and as a home battery when there is no sunshine, for instance. And the students in the automotive technology, they learn also what problems can occur when we are charging an electric car, for instance. And so they can better act and they can better inform customers when they go to the work floor. And then on the right picture, you see there's another application for the bike fix. And there we learn students to learn and to do basic work on regular, but also on electric bikes in a safe way. And then I go quickly to another project in another sector. It's with
Sorry, Annick.
Yeah.
Could you please do kind of wrap up or something like that, because we have run out of time and we have another speaker.
Mm-hmm.
So sorry.
Okay, there you see how we learn on students can learn training in a didactic mini plans for the process industry in the chemical. And when we go to the last one, the last project, there is a project for our schools in the innovation in the vineyards, where in an artificial way they plant vineyards on the rooftop of the campus there, and they cultivate wine and so on. And it's with the hotel, the students of the hotel school. So that's one of our 4 of our projects where we try to bring the innovations of the labor market industry in our training programs for secondary educational schools. For the ones who want to know more about this, I left my coordinates on the last dia, so you can contact me if you want to know more about all this.
Okay, thank you, Annick. As you may know, we have to leave questions for another occasion. So please, if you want to ask something to Annick, just write down your question or your query in the chat. Alicia has shared with you the contact details from Annick, so you can directly write to her if you want. And last but not least, we are going to welcome to the last speaker to conclude with our regional insights. We welcome, I don't know, Raquel,
it's perfect.
Rachele, perfect, Italian way. So Rachele, Cesa, General Manager at Fondazione Ergo. Rachele is a leader in industrial organization and ergonomics, with extensive experience in driving organizational change and boosting industrial competitiveness. So she led this Smart Valley project, which is about to talk about right now, an initiative that supports the development of manufacturing ecosystems in Italy. She is also the author of Why Factories Are Good for Italy and a member of EWOP, European Women on Board. So welcome, Rachele, and we are excited to hear your perspective. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Yes, in this presentation, I will introduce the Smart Valley Campus, that is a project designed to support innovation in Italy, in particular in the manufacturing sector. The project is developed by Fondazione Ergo in the region of Lombardy. First of all, before starting, just a brief introduction to present Fondazione Ergo, that is a training and consulting center with a focus on manufacturing transformation. In particular, the focus is on improving work organization, ergonomics, and industrial sustainability. We work in particular in connection with manufacturing companies, university, institution, union, to drive changes that help to improve both productivity and the working condition in the manufacturing plant. Which are the most important challenges that small medium company are facing in Italy? For sure, with a lot of after a lot of discussions with small but also big companies, the main problem that they are facing is for sure skill shortage. So a lot of large business a large number of business companies are finding problem in finding skilled workers, especially in the area of robotics, data analytics, cybersecurity. And the other aspect for sure is the innovation and the digitalization of most of the small medium companies. In particular, Smart Valley and Fondazione Ergolo are located in the north part of Italy. The region is Lombardy, and the area is the city is Varese. Varese is a city with a strong focus on aerospace, mechanic, and fashion and textile company sectors. And they are facing some problems in digitalization, skill mismatch, and sustainability. So what we have understood is that what we have to understand is that there is a lack of competitiveness that is becoming a big problem. So what we have done as Fondazione Ergo is to try to organize and create a project that we have called Smart Valley. Smart Valley is a physical space. We have found 800 square meter building to create a space, a physical space with a mission to help manufacturing sectors. Promoting innovation, offering technological solution, and providing training to develop the necessary skills for small medium company. What we have done is to launch in March last year this space with three main areas. The main area are an academy, a department of research, and an area of technological transfer. In particular, the thematic area that we would like to develop in these three areas are what we have called sustainability in industry, the social sustainability of the factory, and all the aspects about the circularity. In particular, the sustainability industry for us is to work on developing skills, project research, and innovation in product design, work logistic measurement, industrial cost accounting, and so on. Social sustainability instead is all things about professional development, soft skills, industrial relationship, but also all the aspects about ergonomics, so biomechanical design and simulation. Next steps will be for sure about new technology in materials, circularity of material, and so on. The main area, as I said before, are three: academy, research, and tech transfer. This is very important because what we have collected from the small medium company are this kind of problems. So to help them to create a space where they can find a company that can support them. So from the new academy, Smart Valley offers a program for upskilling the workforce, providing training in area like mechatronic, safety, production, but also with soft skills like leadership and change management. The goal so is to prepare workforce for the demand of Industry 5.0 with a focus on human-centric innovation. The second area is research, focus on Industry 5.0. In particular, we are working on exoskeleton, wearable, and so on. And the technological area is about AI, digitalization, sustainability to support the transformation of small medium company with innovation and new technologies. So in this case, what we are trying to do is with Smart Valley is to be a connector of, so to have the possibility to have a physical space where to find an ecosystem, a real ecosystem where you can create a project in collaboration with university, startup, research center, so that all together can contribute to develop new technologies and innovation. What we have done, what are our plans for the future? For sure, we have obtained a loan of 3 million from a call for tenders from Fondazione Cariplo and Lombardy region to create and create a new area, new education innovation hub that we have called Campus Smart Valley. So we are moving from 800 square meters to a 5,000 square meter, a campus that will have a focus on innovation and education. So innovation for us will be to support also young people with a special program and helping them to enter in the job market, and also to pursue careers in manufacturing. The second aspect instead is the second area is the what we have called the industrial innovation space. So a space, physical space where companies can find a consulting service, including space, equipment, high specialized experts to support the strategy to introduce product and process innovation project. So just to close this presentation, Smart Valley ecosystem will be transformed in a real campus that can help small medium company in innovation, in find their path to Industry 5.0 and in training consulting, but also support workforce starting from young people, so train the new generation, also connecting young people with business and guide the talent toward the culture of a good place to work. So a new idea of modern factories, but also to improve what we now call Industry 5.0. So pay attention to risk prevention, to occupational disease, to ergonomics. So create a space and a company in which there are all the elements that can enable workers to work in a good place. This is I try to summarize the short list. Is the time is now that we are at the end, and just the last slide to give our contact, so to connect with us, to be part of Smart Valley, and these are my contact for any question or connection. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Rachele, and thank you for summarize everything in the last few minutes of this webinar from today. So I think that we can end it here a little bit later than was previously scheduled, but I think that this means that the topic is really interesting and that we have so many things to comment here and so many good examples and practices to share without, well, within these European regions that we are here today represented. So more or less, I think that's it. I want to thank you, especially the speakers from today and all the participants as well for being here. As I may know, I said before, if you have some questions, please forward the questions to us, and we'll share later with everyone assisting to this webinar. And as Alicia has told you before, there follow some kind of wrap up of the materials and a sheet fact with everything, and the recording will be available to review the things we've dealt today here. So that's it. Thank you all from being here, and we look forward to seeing you in other webinars we organize and in future events. And have a nice day, you all. Thank you so much.
Bye. Thank you so much. Bye. Thank you to everyone.
Thank you very much.
Bye.
Goodbye.
Bye. Thank you.